Coming to you live in Los Angeles as the Lycans head back to it to try and catch the win that for 8 weeks has so far eluded them, but they are not yet eliminated from playoff contention, as are their opponents tonight, the Queen City Corsairs, who are also on a losing slide of their own after a strong start to season 22. Will they be the ones to get their season back on track tonight? Two teams desperate for a win, taking a battle in Week 10. Alongside me this evening, the familiar voice on the analyst spot of Cameron Duty. Good to be back with you, Cam. How's it going, and what are the keys to this game tonight?
Jacob, it is good to be with you, my friend, and good evening, everybody. As you mentioned, two teams desperate for a win on different sides of the spectrum. You've got Queen City trying to stop a 3-game losing streak, still got ground to make up if they want to be considered in the playoffs. Los Angeles looking just for some momentum. They want to end the season on a high note. Keys for the game, I think it's going to be, in the offense, which team can generate the more offensive production. That's going to be a key for Los Angeles. They're great in pass yardage and completions and all the like, but getting that turned into points is a different story. I can't wait to see what happens, my friend.
Should be a good one. We've got the Friday night pre-game crew on stats with us tonight. Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith, along with Cameron Irvine back behind producing it. Let's get this one underway. Kickoff taken just inside of the end zone. Queen City will start us off with possession and a good return. In fact, up to the 30. This will introduce you to that Corsairs offense. That return taken by Adrian Ellis, their first receiver on the depth chart. Quarterback Eric Price, William McDowell, Jet Zero, and Tony Zoma make up the backfield. The receivers, Adrian Ellis, Xavier Knight, Joseph Bodette, Bob Wood, and then the tight ends, Arnold Puka, James Matthew Jr., Abad Ruiz, Robert Cron is the lone guard. The start and an offset. Pro set early throw from Price finds the star tight end, and James Matthew Jr. off to a good start. Picks up 12 yards. Cameron, he has had a stellar campaign in season 22.
Well, it's no surprise to see them go to him early. They will go to him often. 64 receptions now, most in the SFL, 766 yards and 4 touchdowns. He really is the workhorse for this team. Good at getting open, good at finding space, and you see right there, good at eluding tackles with his size and strength. So we will see him early and often in this game unless Los Angeles can kind of reel him in.
He's amongst the top 3 in total receiving yards this season. He's certainly well in the Offensive Player of the Year race this season. Price drops back, swing to the backfield, caught by Zero, and that's dumped at the line of scrimmage. Good tackle by Ace Blackwell, rather. It is Tazzy Blackwell, the inside linebacker. A couple of Blackwells on this Los Angeles defense, along with the line. Brogan Spearaw, Ace Blackwell, Selwyn Lane, Nick Brummer, and Gary Marks. The linebacking core, Tazzy Blackwell, Greg Ward, and Rochelle Colston will get to their secondary after this play. Back to the twin set. Price rolling out. Pressure came, and he's found Matthew Jr. again. Tough contested catch that sets them up with a 3rd and 1 to come up. That rest of that defense, Devontae Moore, the corner, Mike Scott, T.D. Jack, Monte Wyatt, Eaton Moss, and Ryan Yosef makes up the secondary. Big 3rd one upcoming. Single back with a heap of tight ends in the picture. It's a handoff to Price up the middle. He picks up the first down. Good 3rd down conversion from the Corsairs.
A good conversion indeed, and that's what they need to continue to sustain drives today. We mentioned it at the top of the show. They're 3rd in passing yards, so they can move the ball down the field with that respect. 8th in total yards. Again, both these teams need to work on converting good sustained drives into touchdowns.
Price with a fresh set of downs finds Matthew Jr. for a 3rd time on this drive. He picks up 7, and an early look into this Corsairs offense. This has been the formula for success in season 22.
It has indeed.
We'll get back to it here. Early looks for Matthew Jr. and a couple of good carries early for Jet Zero out of the backfield. They'll go back to the ground game here. That's Zero again. He breaks the first line of contact and picks up a 1st down.
That's a position that they like to have Jet Zero in. I had an opportunity to cover a couple of the games this year, and that's what they like, to get him in a position of 4 or 5 yards. He's great. He's very durable in that aspect. He can get those tough yards. Good ground and pound runner.
He's a power back at heart. Price drops back to throw. Again finds Matthew Jr. He gets it for a 4th time on this drive. Has been the only receiver to even get a target on this possession. That combination is starting to heat up.
Monty White is going to have a long night, I am afraid. For one of the reasons, look at Matthew Jr.'s size and strength right there. You've seen Monty White trying to cover him. You know, the great 7-year man coming over from Carolina. But Matthew Jr. 6'7", 265 pounds. It's a tough matchup. He's doing his best to cover that area of the field. But right now, Matthew Jr. is just taking it all in.
He's a 4-time All-Star, made it in season 21. He's rebounded with the same production this season. That throw from Price finds 0 in the backfield, and he's dumped for a loss of 2. That's a better markup for the Los Angeles defense.
It is, and that might be the thing that they need to kind of anchor themselves. Force Queen City into potentially 3rd and long situations here. Who knows? And it could kind of change the complexity of this drive.
Price again going back to it. Another swing outside, and that one's dropped. Finally found a different receiver. That was Bodette on the outside, and Monte White gets one back.
He sure does. Yeah, for all those that he's had difficulty covering there with Matthew Jr., he gets one that time on Bodette. And you can see just, good physicality with Monty White and a good job of knocking that ball loose. Big 3rd down here.
They've converted a 3rd down already on this possession. Can they do it again from a far longer distance? Price drops back. Good protection in front of him. Rolls out a couple of steps. Looks end zone. It's too big. Another target for a different receiver that time. It was slung the way of Bob Wood, the rookie, and couldn't find him.
It's really interesting, Jacob, that they went away from Matthew Jr. when they got down to this portion of the field. That's a prime area to start using James Matthew Jr. Instead, they went a different direction, kind of looking for different targets, and a good job of Los Angeles covering on that. Let's also mention that big loss in the backfield that, as we predicted, changed the complexion of the whole drive.
The drive started off on a positive note, but Los Angeles' defense got the hole it needed, and the 36-yard field goal from Joe Garfield is up and good, and Queen City takes an early lead.
And a nice job. Again, it's always good to come away with points, be the first ones on the board. For Los Angeles, though, you got to give yourself a little pat on the back. You may have bent, but you certainly didn't break. You forced the field goal attempt, and now let's see what your offense can do.
Kickoff not returned by Los Angeles. It's Darius Iniguez on returning duty, and Solly Richardson and his offense will come out for their first possession. The backs Brandon Stall, Logan Jack, and Jalen Wells. The receivers Bubba Tree, the aforementioned Darius Iniguez, Elsie Pryor, and Chris Lee. The tight ends Tommy Rahman, Jack Flash, and the line Oren Wilds, Bob Watoska, and Kristen Swifty. Motion a receiver from right to left. Offset eye for Richardson. Throw early. That's a good one. 15-yard pickup off the bat to Iniguez.
Yeah, they'll use Iniguez quite a bit in their system. You will see him and a lot of those same familiar routes. Loves cutting up towards the middle portion of the field right there. He has that little fast break. As you can see, that little move whoop, right there, just enough to confuse the defender, get to the open space, and comes up with a nice reception. You may see that quite a bit tonight. They're very, very happy with him in that slot at the moment.
Aggressive formation again here from the Lycans. Richardson again is going to motion one of his receivers. That time it's Chris Lee who switches, Pryor rather. Drops back. Richardson's going to look to the side, and that was targeted towards Elsie Pryor. Tipped away, though. Good defense by the Corsairs. That defense consists of Diterion Darshington, Chad Stinson, and Emmanuel Petrilla on the line. The linebackers Casper Haddock, Kappa Jones, Luke Swift, Morgan Brown, and Wolf Highwind. The backs Brandon Ewing, who had that tip, Justin Reside, Ted Haynes, Anthony Wyo, and the safeties Alex Marshall and GB Wallace. That's Chad Stinson's defense in this Corsairs unit. 3 wide for Richardson. Single back is Jack. He's going to throw a short one that time. Pryor is able to reel it in, picks up a few, and will leave them with a 3rd and medium.
LZ Pryor has been a workhorse for this team this season. 46 receptions, 661 yards, 10th in the SFL. 2 touchdowns. We mentioned they're wanting to convert, instead of field goals to touchdowns here, so they want to improve in that department, but he's got a lot of work in so far.
Richardson, great protection from the line. What a grab! Downfield, and Pryor ran straight into the safety, but what a catch from LZ Pryor. How did he reel that in?
How did he reel it in, and also how did he get so wide open just to get a step on the defender in the manner with which he did? He was, a great job of really a ball that maybe was a little bit overthrown. That's a 28-yard reception. Look at that. A little bit ahead of him, but that's just great effort, great concentration to bring in the reception, keep the drive alive. We talk about momentum. Los Angeles needs it, looking for their first win. This could be a fire starter for them.
The athleticism to reel that one in. From Pryor, the toss play, it's the first run of the drive, finds Jack. That picks up 3. And Los Angeles' offense all of a sudden starting to find its motions and starting to look like a good contest tonight.
It is. A key, we've seen how Los Angeles was able to find their defense at the end of that last drive. Queen City rather, can Los Angeles, can they maintain their offense out there on the field, or will Queen City be able to find their footing and stop them here? Big 3rd down coming up.
First handoff of the game for Brandon Brennenstall. That's a couple. Wolf High Wind all over that one. And we'll bring up a 3rd and 5 here for Richardson. Converted earlier. And they've got 4 wide again. Here with 3 to his left. Queen City in a 3-3. Richardson drops back. Good protection again. First down, and he's got Bubba Tree, and he's tackled outside. What a throw from Richardson to find the sophomore, and he's tackled at the 2.
When they find Bubba Tree, it's usually for big yardage plays. He is averaging 20.2 average yards per catch, and there is just another example. That's how they like to use him on the longer routes, and a good job, good communication, good chemistry with Sully Richardson on the play, setting up a big-time first down here early in this game for Los Angeles.
Back-to-back 28-yard completions for Richardson to a pair of his receivers, and now they're on goal to go with 3 to go. Offset eye, Joker's package here for the Lycans. Richardson will throw out of it. Jack is wide open. He looks away from him and throws it to the tight end in the end zone. It's a touchdown for the Lycans. He's found Jimmy Foster for a score. Oh, Tommy Rahman, rather.
Yeah, just a nice job of Tommy Rahman there, playing the middle of the end zone, so to speak. And again, a good job of Richardson dumping that one off, finding him underneath. And as we said, Tommy Rahman, that is his 4th touchdown of the season. He's got 3 coming into this game, so now add another one on for Mr. Rahman. Good job.
Tommy Rahman, the 2nd tight end on the depth chart. They have both him and Flash out in the package there, and Richardson found the veteran, and the Lycans get the first touchdown of the game. A fairly unfamiliar position to be in given the way that their season has tracked, but they have been successful putting points up on the board. That was a good drive from the Lycans offense. Kickoff from... will take it down and is landed in the end zone. That's Sashel Black on kicking duties. He made the extra point, of course. And Queen City will look to come out and to try and recreate the first half of their drive, but the toss play to the outside to Jet Zero that lost 2 yards seemed to snuff the momentum. We'll see if the Price to Matthew connection continues here on this possession. The handoff, though, will go to Zero, and again he's dumped. Good tackle, Monte Wyatt.
Wyatt is having a big night already, as we mentioned, all over the field. We've seen him get burned on a couple plays, but then we've seen him come up and make some big stops as well. I think the important aspect to take away there is that this guy keeps fighting, and he is a ball hawk. He's searching everywhere for that football.
Throw set for Price, drops back. He's got a man again. That's Matthew Jr. That's been the recipe for success so far, and that sets them up with one to go for a first.
Mentioning that, like I said, it was really a surprise that they went away from Matthew Jr. when they got down close to the red zone. Maybe that's something they have learned from, and they will look his way if they're able to get back there. Right now, 3rd and 1, you expect them to line up and try to run it here potentially.
Handoff up the middle, finds Jet Zero, picks up a first down, and I have to apologise to Tommy Rahman. I don't know where I pulled that player's name out of, but I saw the number and didn't have time to look at my roster sheet, but it was Tommy Rahman, the former fullback turned tight end, picking up that opening touchdown for the Lycans. Fresh set it down, so for the Corsairs, that's McDowell. Up the middle, former receiver turned running back this season, Rochelle Colston all over that one.
We will see that tandem of Jet Zero and William McDowell all throughout the night. They like to use Jet Zero, obviously, a lot of the ground and pound. They look for McDowell when they need a little bit of finesse in between the tackles there.
Pair of runs for the Corsairs on this drive, haven't gained much. Price goes back to it. That was tough. Too tough, in fact, for the receiver in Bodette. Ryan Yosef, good coverage on that occasion, and forces Queen City into a 3rd and long.
And you can see that it's imperative to them that they get Joseph Bodette involved. They haven't made that connection just yet, but they keep looking his way. They feel really good about this guy. His first year on the team coming over from Sioux Falls.
4 wide for Price, drops back. Receiver is open. He's going to go to that side of the field and couldn't hang on to it. Good coverage on the play. Lycans get another stop.
Just a little bit high that time. That pass thrown a little bit out of the reach of the intended receiver. And then, of course, the Lycans defense able to lock it down to make sure there was no second effort to come up with a reception. So a good job of LA again getting Queen City off the field.
Comes the punt from Ian Deegan. Sails away, caught at the 25, and the special teams unit for the Corsairs met him right at the point of catch. Ted Haynes there on that stop. Make sure that Iniguez didn't get any further than where he caught the ball, and the Lycans will look to keep going with what worked on that opening possession. It was a lengthy drive that resulted in the Tom Rahman touchdown completion from Richardson from 3 out. Start with 3 wide, single back to Richardson's left. He'll motion a receiver down. That's Iniguez. No one covering him for the meantime. Richardson just hands it off up the middle to Jack, who breaks through. GB Wallace had to hang on for dear life, and Jack picks up a solid 6-yard gain.
Logan Jack comes into the game over 300 yards on the ground. Interesting to note, when it came to their rushing touchdowns, it's went in the favor of Brandon Brennenstall. Again, very much like we see with McDowell and Jet Zero for Queen City. It's ground and pound versus finesse. And so you will see them get a lot of work out of the veteran halfback on this side of the field here.
He's had a really good rookie campaign, Brandon Brennenstall. Impressive in the minor league, impressive in the majors as well. That handoff goes up the middle to Brandon Brennenstall, and he probably came off second best on that occasion, but still picks up a few, and it gives them a 3rd and short.
A real physical runner too there. If you noticed, he's got the neck guard as well, kind of old school Mike Allstott looking type built runner. Kind of a throwback, kind of fun to watch.
Absolutely. Jack in the backfield here on this occasion. They're going to motion Chris Lee from side to side. This is the formation they scored the touchdown out of. It'll be a toss play to the outside, and Jack is met and stuffed. Great tackle by Justin Reside coming out of his corner spot to make that play. That is huge.
You know they love having Justin Rosado on the team. His first year coming over from Las Vegas, and it shows just what this guy can do. He can read a coverage and a play scheme better than anybody.
Quarter gone, it's a close one here in Los Angeles. The Lycans lead the Corsairs 7 points to 3. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your play today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the join the community button and begin your career, or to beat the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. That punt is a big one, and that's fielded at the 25 and returned up just beyond the 30 by Bob Wood, and Queen City will take over after a good 3 and out from their defense.
Right now, you have to be very happy with your defensive unit. I know that they did have the touchdown that they gave up, but otherwise they did a good job locking down in a lot of aspects, and now they give the ball back over to the offense to see if they can put some productivity on the board.
If these defensive units have locked into the game here, see if the Corsairs can get back to what worked earlier in the drive. They go, and Zero went in the wrong direction. He eventually corrects it, and he's going to get about 7 yards out of it in the end, but it was a dodgy start to the run. Eventually, he was able to correct it.
Yeah, it looked like Jet Zero just took a U-turn and basically said, nope, I'm not going this way. I'm going to shift. And it's a dangerous move, of course, but he did find the open daylight once he did, and he gets a positive yard. Some positive yards makes an easier second down coming up.
The broken spree will work the plane, and it forced him in the wrong direction. That run picks up a couple. There's an injury, and it's a Lycan. And it's Tassie Blackwell, the anchor of this defense. That is not a player that they want to lose, if any. And she looks in some discomfort.
Yeah, you hate to see that because Tassie is someone we already mentioned early in this game. We already called her name. Hopefully it's nothing serious and she can get back in here. A lot of injury bugs hitting a lot of players around the SFL this weekend.
Los Angeles now down to 2 starting linebackers. That's Colson and Ward, who are both fairly unnatural linebackers. They both moved from safety spots to play in that role. So we'll see how the Lycans defense responds. Price drops back, short throw caught. That's a first down grab for Joseph Baudet. And Queen City's on the move.
On the move indeed. And that is something that, as we said, they've looked to Baudet's way a couple of times in this game. Finally, they get a nice completion there. And keep an eye on this guy. He's one to watch tonight. He could be a difference maker.
Pressure downs for Eric Price. Handoff up the middle. Zero trying to get room, and the Lycans defenders are all over him, including Rochelle Colston.
Yeah, Rochelle, obviously, just an anchor, as you mentioned. We mentioned Tassie. Well, Rochelle is an anchor as well for this Los Angeles team, and you take a look at her stats. Great all across the field. She can make tackles. She can make INTs. Just a great presence for this defense.
Price sips it. Oh, that should have been picked. It was sent straight in the direction of Devontae Moore, and the sophomore corner couldn't come up with it.
Queen City really needs to be thanking their lucky stars that he wasn't able to come up with that. Moore had a dead read on it, hit him right in the hands, just couldn't bring that one in. Maybe even surprised him a little bit that it was there in his face. But Queen City definitely got lucky on that one. They lived to fight another down.
4 wide for Eric Price in the gun. He's going to roll all the way back. Look too deep, and that's, again, was almost intercepted. That was Joseph that time on coverage. And the Lycans again stand up defensively and get a stop.
It looks like it looks like Eric Price is really rattled at the moment. Like they have him a little bit out of sorts. And Los Angeles, they do a pretty good job at that. As we mentioned, players such as Mike Scott and TD Jack with 3 interceptions apiece, Monty White as well. So these guys, they're really capable of rattling a QB.
One kick to the corner for Oniguez to deal with, and he did well in the end. Picked up a few yards on the return. And Los Angeles will take over from their own 28. It's been A similar start for both offenses. Richardson has done a better job at finding his targets than Price. He's 5 for 6 for 77. And so far has found 4 different receivers in this contest. Logan Jack has had a solid start to this one as well with his free carries. See how they construct this drive. Handoff, that's Jack up the middle. He's only going to get a yard, if that. Good defense by the Corsairs front seven.
Just a good job, again, of the front line, as you mentioned, stuffing all of the holes, making sure that he had nowhere to run. Just a great effort. Typical pounding attack right there by Queen City, making sure to flog a couple of front men.
Richardson's throw towards Flash, that's tipped away. It was double coverage, and GB Wallace was all over that one. Forces it incomplete, and now Richardson's faced with another 3rd down and long.
It is so interesting how the first couple series there, both offenses were moving the ball rather effectively, got early points. The defenses have now really settled in. They stepped up and decided, hey, you know what? We're going to make this our game until you can prove otherwise against us.
Here they go again, 4 wide. They're going to motion Pryor from. There's a ton of receivers down here. 2 open receivers to Richardson's left. He's got to throw in that direction. It goes that way. It's too big. There was a one-on-one contest downfield between Pryor and Wallace, and it was too big out of the hand from Richardson, and it's another 3 and out for the Lycans offense.
They rolled out Richardson, tried to give him a little bit more time to look downfield, find the open target. As we mentioned, other than those very opening drives, it's been tough for him to get a lot of time to look downfield and find the key man. Wasn't able to do it that time either. Queen City, their defense responds.
Snap was low out of the hands, but punter got it away, and it's fair caught by Bob Wood at the Queen City 30. And that's where the Corsairs will take over. It's been a good one so far, and if you're liking the game so far, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. SFL produces over 400 events a year. There's no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Queen City trying to get their offense moving. They've had one drive that resulted in a field goal, and other than that, they have struggled as a general rule, and that run from Jet Zero is met once again by Rochelle Colston, so she has definitely stepped up in the absence of Tassie Blackwell.
Definitely has, and I think that it was, even without saying it, was very much thought that she was going to have a big day after Blackwell went down, and so far she has responded and then some.
Price again, it's another running formation. 2 wide to his right. Toss play outside, Zero again. That time got a little bit more room. Picks up 4, and that's another one of the Lycans defenders coming across there to make the play. We'll see how they respond here with a 3rd and 6 upcoming. Drop back from Price. Launches, that's incomplete. Tons of coverage around Joseph Bodette, and it's batted away by TD Jack.
It's a nice job by TD Jack. She certainly read that play well. That was kind of a dangerous throw. So many, blue jerseys around. Something I'm kind of surprised about, I do want to mention, Adrian Ellis, the wide receiver, the standout for Queen City, comes into the game, 2 touchdowns and over 550 yards of reception yardage. I haven't seen his name get called yet, and I'm kind of surprised by that. I guess we'll credit that to LA's good defense.
He hasn't been kick fielded by Iniguez, rather, at the 35. He has not been sighted since the opening kickoff. Cameron, he returned the opening kickoff, and other than that, their number 1 receiver has not been targeted by Price. It's been, by and large, Matthew Jr., at least on the opening possession, and then Wood have 1 end zone target, and then furthermore, Bodette has had most of the general field looks, but The Lycans will look to try and get something going. The game has hit a bit of a lull since the opening 2 drives of the game. Richardson, handoff is straight to Jack, and Luke Swift was all over that one, only picks up a yard.
Luke Swift is another one of those additions they're so excited to have on this team. Another one of those Las Vegas Fury players who've been able to come over and already make a notable difference. 5'11", 205 pounds, and just a good job, good solid player all the way around.
He too, a former safety turned linebacker. There's been a few of those so far tonight that we've talked about. Richardson drops back, good pocket by the line. Incomplete, looked at Pryor again. And the coverage from Alex Marshall was too good.
Oh, that looked like a car crash, didn't it? I mean, the way that all those bodies collided on that reception. A tough physical game. Again, the defense staying involved, the main talking point of this first half thus far. And really, any chance that any receiver, and I'm talking either Queen City or Los Angeles, has had a chance to grab one of these footballs, they have been completely knocked out of contention with big hits each and every time.
4 wide for Richardson on third down. Can he convert one? He hasn't for a while. Richardson off a step. That's incomplete. Yep. It was a good look. Had Chris Lee downfield, but the ball was jarred free from GB Wallace. And it's another 3 and out.
Again, another situation that we just talked about, how really Struthers has done a really nice job, or Richardson rather has done a really nice job of finding the receiver. But at the same time, they're not able to reel those in because of the defense, the quickness, the accuracy to the point of the reception to jar it loose. It's been really impressive by the Corsairs.
Again, fielded by Bob Wood rather, at the 30, and Queen City will try and take over. It's been a minute. We've had 3 straight drives now that have had 4 plays or less. 4 of the 5 in this quarter alone have been of that nature. Queen City had the longest with that 7-play drive quite some time ago. Handoff up the middle to 0, and again it's a short yardage carry. Tackle made right at the line of scrimmage by Nick Brummer. And you see the team stats there. It's been pretty even, but very, very low across all categories. Both of these passing offenses have not found much momentum since early in the first quarter. Queen City going to load up that left-hand side. Price rolls back. That's too tough to handle for James Matthew Jr., who's had plenty of targets across the course of the game, but the service has not been nearly as good as it was early in the contest.
We'll credit that to the pressure of, again, Nick Brummer coming in and really forced Price to have to make a throw much earlier than what he was intending. Good job of the defense.
That was Matthew Jr.'s 9th target of the contest. And they're 4 wide here for Price. Drops back. Good blocking again. That's incomplete. Didn't have a good look at all. I think he's trying too hard at the moment, Cameron, to feed it into James Matthew Jr. That didn't look like it was on at all.
Oh, yeah, it did not, and I think it comes back to the restlessness of QB Eric Price at the moment. He's just not felt very comfortable in the pocket. You can almost tell in his footwork, setting his feet right now, he's not able to even really get comfortable enough to make an accurate throw. Give that credit to the Lycans. They've got him rattled.
At fair court at the 30, that punt did not travel far. And yes, Gerald Smith, that is our 7th straight punt. This game started off with both offenses looking quite sharp, and since then the defenses have really taken over in this game. And really, I mean, it feels like even a first down could be a momentum breaker at this point. We haven't seen one in quite some time. Can the Lycans break the drought here? 3 wide for Richardson. Jack off to his left. He's going to motion Pryor from right to left. Richardson, handoff up the middle. Jack's got a little bit of room. Jack gets past one, and Wyo did enough to force him down, but that's Logan Jack's best run of the night.
Definitely. And that's saying a lot that a 7-yard run is his best run of the night. That tells you just how inefficient the offense has been for Los Angeles. And they want this game, searching for their first victory of the season. They just got to get all the pieces together and eventually find a way to put some points on the board.
Delayed handoff found Brennenstall, and he will pick up just a yard. In fact, it was Jalen Wells with his first carry of the game. Queen City all over that one, but it makes third down a little closer.
Big play here. You don't want to go off the field so quickly. You got to be able to turn it around, and they're struggling at the moment. Got to find a way to break through.
Handoff, Jack, first down. There we go. That's what they needed. Logan Jack plows forward, picks up about 6 or so, and that's the first down that we were seemingly going to be deprived of for quite some time.
Yeah, but you see the emotion right there, Jacob, in Logan Jack. That spark, that may be enough to get a little momentum, get a little blood pumping in this offense. Maybe things can turn around.
Richardson looks to the air, and that's incomplete. Jack Flash's second target. He's been deprived of service as well, as been caught in those situations twice where he's been forced to try and come up with a play in real contested coverage. That one falls incomplete. Richardson not afraid, though, to launch it down the field. Get back to it here on 2nd and 10. Sorry to cut you off, Cameron. 4 wide. Single back is Jack. Richardson drops back again. Good protection. Richardson, one-handed grab. That's the momentum breaker. Finds Chris Lee at the 30.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The momentum that they needed to break the 5 straight incompletions. And again, take a look at Richardson. I think that play design was really good, attacking the middle of the field. Sometimes, Richardson does love to sling that football around. He likes to go deep. Sometimes it's best to work the middle part of the field, even sometimes the underneath receivers. Just got to be very careful in the ball placement. Don't do too much. Try to settle in right here. Maybe that makes the difference.
Sully's in full stride. No, that's a pick. He overthrew it. It was another tough look for Jack Flash, and GB Wallace says, thank you very much. That's an interception for the Corsairs.
Oh, bless his heart. You hate to see that. Another drive that looked like it was finally getting on the right track, and, just completely overthrew his man. It goes back to what I was talking about. While they're trying to gain some traction, gain some footing, work on the underneath routes, and just try to get some nice established 6 yards, 7 yards, 10-yard completions. You don't have to go for the home run every single time. But on the other side, though, GB Wallace, just a great job of reading that pass and snagging the INT.
Corsairs have got to ruck it out from 5 away from their own goal line. Hand off to 0. 0 plows forward. That's a good run. And you're absolutely right. That drive for LA ends in a disappointing fashion. It was a 27-yard reception for Chris Lee, the 3rd time that Richardson found a man for a really good gain. And then, unfortunately, just overthrew his receiver in Jack Flash for that interception. But that pass to Lee broke a 5 straight incompletion streak. Can Queen City get a first down and potentially get their offense in motion before the half is out? Matthew Jr. runs in motion. They're going to hand it off to McDowell out the backfield. That's a good tackle, though. Prevents the first down. There, I believe, looked like Monte White in on the stop once again.
Not to think too much on that interception that just happened, but for Los Angeles, that could have been a huge drive that could have allowed them to even put some points on the board, maybe even a touchdown to pull ahead of Queen City. And with Queen City's woes, they've had a tough time getting down the field, been very difficult. This really gives Queen City another, a sign of life, an extra heartbeat. They could do something with this.
0 tough carry. 2nd time he's had a touch out of that formation. And it's been successful twice as Jet 0 picks up a first down. That tackle made by Ryan Joseph after all. But Queen City gets an important first down. And that will give us to the 2-minute warning here. Scoreless in the second quarter. It remains 7 points to 3 as we look to close out the opening half. Queen City on the move after that first down carry from Jet Zero. Price with Twins to his right. He hands it off, though, to Zero, and he will pick up about 4, the veteran, and the Queen City Corsairs, rather, in no real rush here to get the ball moving downfield. Split jokers. He got 4-3 counted from Los Angeles. Handoff again up the middle. That's stopped, though, this time. Good defense from the Lycan secondary. Pushing up there was Colston and Joseph in company. 3rd and 3.
Being very conservative right now, letting the clock run down, minute 20 in this first half. Really hasn't really even took a shot downfield yet. Maybe we get one here on 3rd and 3.
Unlikely, given the fact that they've got 3 tight ends out of a single back, but he will throw. Pair of out routes downfield. He's got Matthew Jr. What a throw, and a great call from Cameron Doody. Did not see that one coming from up here on my side of the booth. And Queen City calls a timeout over halfway.
I believe it was the fullback, Tony Zama, if I'm not mistaken.
You might be right.
Reeled that one in. Coming out of that. What an interesting, a really intriguing formation. And again, we talk about signs of life. That's a big play. Moves them down the midfield. Maybe they look down that direction again to at least get in some field goal range here. That was one of the best plays I've seen all night out of Queen City.
Officially a 25-yard reception to Tony Zoma. Price goes again that time. Finds another first down and a second straight called timeout from the Corsairs.
And that was Adrian Ellis getting a reception. We talked about them working him into this formation a little bit. Points has been a priority that they've had to work on, Queen City, that is. In the 3-game losing streak, they've only put up a total of 20 points in those 3 games. Got to convert into touchdowns here. It's imperative.
First catch of the game for the former Nightwing. That one finds Matthew Jr. for a 9-yard pickup, and that's the final timeout from Queen City called. So now you're effectively, but the realistic expectation here is they are at least in field goal range. The problem is they've run out of timeouts to try and stop the clock. They have to be very careful of how they manage this.
Wow.
2nd and 1, they got no back in the backfield, empty backfield for Price. Under center. He drops back. Rush was there. Finds it downfield. Great tip in coverage from TD Jack. Prevents that one from being caught. That could have been anything.
That was a beautiful play by TD Jack. Not only did he get the deflection, he also got the wraparound tackle there at the end of it to make sure that he wouldn't get a second opportunity to pick that one out of the air and take it to the house. So, yeah, good job of the Lycan defense. Now, a huge 3rd and 1 here. Nobody in the backfield, Jacob.
Again, another empty back set. That one's caught, though. They have to get on the move, but they have got 40-odd seconds yet to run. Price drops back, looks same direction, tipped away. Oh, that could have been picked up as well. That's once again, it's the second time he's been targeted on that far side of the field. That time Monte White, who's at a big half, gets that tip away, and Queen City with another stop clock. Can regroup here.
Yeah, got to be real careful here with what they decide. They don't want to run out too much clock, and also they don't want to get in too much of a hurry and force a turnover.
We do have a short field here. Price threw it away. It was a bit of contact there on the coverage from Monte Wyatt, but no call. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Monte Wyatt there really had the receiver completely blanketed and not even an opportunity to reel that one in. And again, as you said, big 3rd down here.
Here we go. Big play upcoming. Gun formation for Price. Throws backfield. It's Zero. And Zero is chased out of bounds. Good effort there to push him away by that backup inside linebacker who came in place of Tassie Blackwell. And you would imagine that will bring out Joe Garfield rather, to make a short 32-yard attempt for his 2nd of the game, and that will bring it back to within a point. Garfield up and through the uprights, and that caps off a 14-play, 82-yard drive from the Corsairs. It's the best their offense has looked since the opening drive of the game. And despite the low score, it has been a relatively entertaining game.
It has, because we've seen swings of the defense coming up with some really beautiful stops, some really nice plays, and then we've had spurts of excitement by the offense. Not really seen it generated into touchdowns yet, but that could change. We'll give it time.
Both teams will probably be looking for halftime to try and regroup, but the Lycans still have 20 seconds to do really whatever they want with it here. I imagine they won't take any real risks here, given the state of the game. They still have the lead. It's a fragile one, though. Queen City got the momentum on that drive. Took it all the way downfield and almost put it away. Richardson, short handoff. That'll do us. Unless they call timeout, which they do not. And Cameron, that will take us to halftime, all but the shouting. And you'd imagine both of these offenses will want halftime to try and regroup, try and drop some new ideas out of the playbook.
Oh, absolutely. And you wouldn't expect too much aggressive from LA right here. They do get the ball to start the second half. And you can see right there just attempting to run out the clock and go to the lockers.
Richardson did call a play, and he gets another reception outside the Aussie Pryor for a first down. And that will do us. Cameron Dirty, halftime here in Los Angeles. The Lycans lead at 7 points to 6. It's a defensive contest here to finish off your Saturday night spectacular block of SFL Week 10 action. Talk me through your key takeaways from that half of football we just saw.
It's been really interesting because of the game. Both the offenses come out firing. You had a field goal and a touchdown there early on by both Queen City and Los Angeles. And then after that, it was an interception and 7 straight punts. That's the combination of both Queen City and Los Angeles there before we finally had some teams get back up on the scoring pylon. So yeah, it's been interesting. It's been exciting. A good defensive effort. I do feel like the best is yet to come. Maybe these offenses will settle down now and start producing. I think that you got to look at Adrian Ellis on the side for Queen City, getting him more involved. Of course, Matthew Jr., always a big target. Now, for Los Angeles, you're doing a good job on defense. You just want a little bit more from your offense. Tully Richardson just really going to need to settle down right here. Take a look at Iniguez, LZ Pryor, Chris Lee, Bubba Tree, all those weapons. I just think that the offense is really, somebody's got to show up this second half. Who is it going to be? It's a big question.
Second half about to get underway. The Lycans will receive the opening second half kickoff. Can they get something on the board here to potentially open this game right up? It was a cagey start, but an entertaining one. And Deegan gets us underway. Fielder just inside of the end zone by, looks like Chris Lee on returning duties. Then we'll have a quick look at the other game on the opposite side of the block. Cameron Irvine to give us an update out of Tulsa in Arizona.
Thank you, Jacob. This had plenty of fireworks early in the game. Michael Brown, all kinds of time, hits Jay Viper for a 70-yard touchdown strike. Tulsa's got the ball right now in the red zone, down 7, 24-17, just starting the fourth. Back to you in LA.
There you go. It's an offensive game on that side of the block, a defensive game on this side. Both entertaining in their own respects. Richardson, short pass. Pryor grabbed it. He's had a couple tonight. And he's had a couple of candidates for the Retroid, nice hands catch of the game. And we'll keep an eye on that one. Lee had one as well in that realm. But get your Retroid Pocket 3 Plus at GoRetroid.com and you can recreate catches just like that one and the few others that we've seen from LA tonight on offense. Richardson, offset eye, handoff up the middle finds Jack, tries to plough his way forward, picks up only a couple. In fact, it was Brendan Stall on that carry, makes it 3rd and short.
Yeah, and this right here, you got to feel pretty good if you're Los Angeles, honestly. You know, you've got good running backs in the backfield. Should be able to pick up this yard. The defense could respond, but again, you know, on 3rd and 1, as short as it is, we expect a run out of the backfield, and we'll see. There it is.
Jack with fresh legs runs straight into GB Wallace, who had to hang on to prevent him from breaking that free for all kinds of yardage, but it's a solid 1st down carry from Logan Jack, and once again, that's his best carry of the night.
Starting to get him working, as you said, fresh legs, and not only that, just finding some lanes for him to run through, and Logan Jack has some good speed about him when he gets into the open field. You know, it's really interesting. We were sitting there saying 3rd and 1, you know they're going to try to run it. It's one thing to know what's coming at you. It's different to try to stop it. And right there, LA gets the upper hand.
Richardson, receivers running crossing patterns downfield. That's incomplete. Another tough one for Jack Flash, who's been targeted 4 times and hasn't had a completion yet. It's incomplete in 2nd down.
Well, the poor guy's literally got beat up. He's black and blue from every reception attempt has had big time contact, and you know, one of these days he's going to be able to snag one in. But Richardson really isn't doing him a lot of favors either, leaving him high and dry on a couple of passes there.
You're booking in physio appointments tomorrow. Can be bruised all over. Richardson throws.
Oh, wow.
That's incomplete again, and Chris Lee was just overthrown there, or maybe he was a little bit late getting to his spot. And another tough contest there on the ball from a Queen City defender. And now Richardson queued up here for a 3rd and long. 4 wide. Jack off to his right.
Look at this formation on defense.
Yeah, for the pressure. Yeah. Near side to the bottom of your screen. He blitzes. Doesn't get there. Picked off! Wallace has got 2. Wallace is running it downfield to the 30. He might go for 6.
He's gone.
GB Wallace with no one in front of him. It's a pick 6 for the safety. He's got 2 interceptions, and he's also got a pick 6 on the board, and Queen City have taken the lead.
We have talked about this all night long. Sully Richardson, be careful with your decisions when you're getting ready to release the football. And right there, you know, don't go for the home run. Instead, you can see that the intended receiver completely flanked, and GB Wallace just turns on the Jets. And you know something, sometimes your defense can be your best offense. And tonight for Queen City, that's been the case, making big plays all night long. And who else than GB Wallace to come in and make the biggest play yet, putting them over top LA for the first time in this game.
First career pick 6 for GB Wallace, and Queen City, just like that, after what was an otherwise good start to the Larkin drive, has been snuffed out and returned back all the way to the house.
I would love to see them feature Brennan Stahl and Jack more often. I think if you get this running game going for Los Angeles, that has shown signs of life. That's going to open up your passing lane. Don't get too pass heavy right now. Keep it on the ground a little bit more on 1st and 2nd down.
And he gets a bit of momentum. I want to correct myself. It's actually Wallace's 3rd pick 6 of his career, or rather his 3rd defensive touchdown. It's his 1st of the season, though. He has been a really, really good import for them, drafted 3 seasons ago, quite early in the season 19 draft, but he has been spectacular for this Corsairs defense. And he has given them the break that they needed. Los Angeles looking to reply. Richardson. Single back is Jack. He's going to drop back though. Jack wide open in the flats. He looks away from it downfield. Incomplete again. And I can almost tell you can guarantee who was targeted, because Jack Flash has received pretty much every target that Richardson has thrown in between the numbers. That one was overthrown again.
Yeah, he's really, as we mentioned, Jack Flash. He's even kind of had to go up in the air for a couple of them. So I guess that means he's a jumping Jack Flash. Pun totally intended. There we go. 1 for the day. Got to get a
You're
daily
allowed
clean.
one.
Thank you.
You're allowed one. Oh dear. Richardson downfield. That's caught. He found Pryor for a first down. Bit of momentum for Sully. And Elsie's having a decent night.
It's been a bright spot for this offense because there hasn't been too many. But take a look at that right there. I mean, you love to see a wide receiver just laying it all out there to come up with the big reception and keep a drive alive, knowing how important that is to maintain some momentum for a team that's struggling at the moment.
4 wide for Richardson on first down. He'll toss it to Brennan Stall out of the backfield. And good defense, though, to Kana from Queen City. Pursued all the way by Wolf Highwind and stopped him after a gain of 2.
This is the part of the field there where we have seen Los Angeles at times struggle, kind of get slowed down, maybe stalled out even a little bit. Again, like I said, I just want to encourage, keep trying to run the football as well. Again, that has to make the open passing lanes kind of get them more available as well.
Carry up the middle from Jack is met right away by Kappa Jones. That's his 4th tackle of the evening and sets up Los Angeles with a 3rd and long here.
And I realize it's not going to be easy either. I mean, there are going to be some growing pains keeping that running game in the playbook, but I do think it will pay big dividends eventually.
Richardson had a receiver screen out there in the flats. He
Pressure.
continues to ignore it, rolls out himself, and he's going to be swacked into the ground, or smacked rather. I don't know where I'm creating new words in this game, Cameron. And that one snuffs the drive out after a 1-yard rush from Sully, and they'll be forced to punt.
I think that was a rather appropriate word for what happened. Let's just be honest. That was kind of ugly looking play there for a moment. Tried to make something out of nothing, but yeah, it did completely get leveled.
There you go. You can add that one to your vocabulary, free of charge. It'd be nice if I could English today, but it's a punt fielded 11 out from the Queen City goal line, and LA's offense continues to struggle tonight. Queen City's defense has been pretty locked in since the first quarter, and they take over here on offense for the first time this half. Twins, 2 Prices left. Drops back. Receiver in the backfield is 0, and he's met good chase down tackle from, looks like Rochelle Colston there on the stop. That only picks up 1.
Jacob, I want to tell you something that'll certainly make you feel better. Creating new words, it's not a bad thing. A couple of play calls ago, there was a sack. I decided to call it a sackle, a sack and a tackle. So, I mean, there you go. It's not a bad thing to create your own vocabulary on late night SFL Saturday games.
That's what it's all about, that carry from 0. He's met right at the line by Ryan Yosef, and now Queen City are forced with a 3rd and long here. Lycans will do well with a stop here. They certainly start with good field position. Crowd eating it up here. They want to stop from their defense. 4-1 dime. Price will rush. Goes right at Colston, and he got it. Rochelle didn't get there in time, and Eric Price makes a huge play to pick up the first.
That's a gutsy play by a quarterback that we don't often get to see run like that. He does get the open field, and he slides, and he gets just enough. He knows where the marker is, and again, he gets, from what we can tell at the moment, just enough. Now, we will see. Yep, I was afraid that, had a feeling we would see that.
We'll take a retroactive look at this game. Visit GoRetroid.com to play the only video game with your player in it, and this certainly looked like a 50-50 call. I thought he got it live. He's certainly a braver man than I, running at Rochelle Colston like that.
It's going to be the key right
with
there.
The ball in one hand and everything. Look at that. It was gutsy. And I think he might have been just on the paint there.
Overturned.
Good call on that one, Cameron. Price, well, we'll see if they changed the spot or if he was well and truly short of the first down marker. It looks to be the latter. And sure enough, yes.
Yeah. Let's give a nod to Rochelle for coming up with a heads-up play, not stopping on the play and making sure to touch Eric Price down just before he did get across the sticks.
There you go. Rochelle Colster makes the play, and Ian Deegan flicks that one away, and it's fielded at 45 by Iniguez. So that's the good field position we mentioned that LA would get with a stop on third down. And we got to feel here that something's got to give here because they've had a lot of opportunities on offense. This is probably the best of the lot to try and at least get a score up on the board.
Yeah. I mean, you're starting with pretty much a regulation arena-sized field here, right? I mean, basically 50 yards.
Yeah.
And you got to come away with some points here. You're down by 6, and this is the prime time. Rochelle Colston just had the big stop. Now, offense, get to work.
Richardson, hand off to Jack. Jack beat one. Good run by Logan Jack. Picked up 8.
That goes back to the running on first down and how important it is. Even had Logan Jack not been able to get free for like a 9-yard gain right there, it's still first down. Don't wait until third down, to try to sneak in a run play there. Hit them early on first down, see what you can do, and that it worked. Big dividends. Had it not worked, you still could go back to the drawing board, and it makes second down so much more manageable.
Sully Richardson approved of that one, trying to will his squad forward. Hand off again up the middle. That's going to be close to the first down marker. But Brandon Brennanstall is marked just shy, and that will bring up a 3rd and 1.
Now Wolf Highwind on the tackle. 6'3", 260 pounds, coming over from Mexico City. A great acquisition for the Corsairs.
One to go. Jack is going to get it with comfort, and we'll pick up about 5 or 6 extra on top of that. And Los Angeles gets some momentum going forward. Their ground game has settled a little bit, and Jack looks good in general.
He really does. It's the best we've seen him look all night. Again, you're not going to be able to get a lot out of him if you don't feed him the football, and I think they finally decided to do that, go with a run-first mentality, at least on this drive anyway. We'll see if it continues after the first down, but, maybe we'll see if the passing lanes decide to open up here for Sully.
Interesting formation from the Lycans. The throw was short from Richardson. Couldn't find Pryor. Too hot to handle. It was 2nd down.
You got to give credit as well to this Los Angeles team for sticking in there, trying a lot of different things, trying different formations. Being down by 6 is not for lack of trying, that's for sure, as you see that same kind of set here, Jacob.
4 wide again for Richardson. Throws. That's caught. Found Pryor that time. Despite the coverage from Wire, that's been a good contest so far tonight. It's going to give him a 3rd and short.
Yeah, we've seen them target LZ there along the left side of the field a couple of times in this game, and a good job of reeling that one in. Kind of positioned his body to do a nice transition there, able to sustain the catch, take the tackle.
Jack, good tackle, but not enough. He got it. He was met well by Casper Haddock, but not enough to prevent the first down.
Best drive we have seen this entire night since the opening drive of the game. Honestly, that obviously has been the best, but since that point, best Los Angeles has looked.
We've got to finish it off, though. That's the key here. Richardson drops back with an empty backfield. Drops.
Look at that.
That's caught. Pinned him inside the 5. Has found Pryor again, and Los Angeles finally starting to get it together.
And I will say that is the prettiest pass that Sully Richardson has thrown this entire night. One reason, look, plenty of time, but look at his feet. He sets them perfect before he delivers that throw. He's not rushed. He's not panicked. He's in full control of the play, knowing where he wants to go with the football. That makes all the difference. A confident quarterback is a productive quarterback.
22 yards on the fly from Richardson to Pryor. They've now got goal to go. Jack up the middle. Jack trying to push his way. What a stop from Luke Swift. Held on for dear life and prevented Logan Jack from getting across the stripe.
That was a big defensive effort, knowing that literally every inch matters. And take a look at where the ball is resting right there. I mean, you wouldn't be surprised to see him try to do a little jump over the pile here.
He may just do, but it is Brennan still, who you touched on earlier in the game, as being more of the goal line threat in this Lycans offense. So far this season, he will get the carry up the middle. Brennan Stoll's got it! The Lycans tie it up with a chance to take the lead with a kick to come.
The drive that they needed, being able to not only score, but the way that they did it, great grit, determination, a great mix of run and pass, a very impressive drive. They took advantage of having the short field position, and now they are an extra point away from taking the lead, and that is so important because points have been so hard to come by here.
Here we go. We've now got a contest here in Los Angeles, 14-13, with 90 seconds left in the third quarter. And the second quarter was a bit of a disappointment, but so far in this third one, we've had a rushing touchdown for Brandon Brennerstall that was followed by the interception return for a 6 from GB Wallace earlier in the quarter. Kickoff return from the end zone by Bob Wood, and he will recover it at the 25, and we'll go back to Phoenix, Arizona for another game update from the other game of this block.
How about this play, Jacob? Tulsa down 27-24 with 3:10 to go, and Michael Brown is going to find Gabriel Manning in the back of the end zone for the game-leading score, 31-27. Arizona just turned the ball over on downs. Tulsa's trying to ice this one, but still plenty of time, 2 minutes left. Back to you as Queen City's on the move.
There you go, right away. Queen City on the move. That's Adrian Ellis, who we've highlighted has had a quiet night, but perhaps a perfect opportunity for him to keep going. Close one there in Phoenix. There's an upset on the horizon for Tulsa, but this game is starting to heat up as well. Keep an eye on both of these games as we look to cap off Saturday night in Week 10 in the best way possible. Price drops back on a first down. That's tipped away. One of the linemen stuck a hand up. In fact, it was Joseph coming from that safety spot to bat it away.
So, a great job defensively there by Ryan Joseph. We haven't called his name too much in tonight's game, but, coming up when it matters, and that deflection, that's big now, sets up a 2nd and 10 for a defense that is finding its footing, it looks like.
2nd and 10. Handoff up the middle. Zero's got momentum. Ran straight at Joseph again. Picks up 5.
And I don't want to try to sound dramatic or anything at all, but this is an important third down for Queen City. After a offensive series that Los Angeles has, Queen City needs to come right back with the same type of energy and keep their drive alive, keep the momentum here on their side if they want to stay in this game.
Shotgun for Price. Matthew Jr. couldn't hang on to it. Great tip. Ryan Joseph has had 3 big plays on that possession. LA gets a stop.
Like I said, this defense really now playing the bet that they have this entire night, coming up and making some huge plays, physical plays, knocking the football out of the receiver's hands. And you just see and you start to feel as if a momentum shift could be coming, especially if Los Angeles offense still has that winning formula that they had on that previous drive.
Home team's starting to feel good about themselves. We'll try that one again. Iniguez runs it up to the 30. And Sully Richardson and the LA offense will look to, I guess, play the same way they did on that last possession. It was possession football that ran the clock down, did a really good job at isolating that Queen City defense. And see what they respond with. Richardson drops back. He's got a man running around on the outside.
Oh.
Richardson's going to check it down himself. Sully runs straight at the linebacker, and Sled did a good job there. And that will see us to the end of the third quarter. Good contest here in LA. Big fourth quarter upcoming. We'll be right back after Chris Curtis reads us our league rights.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
See there, Tassie Blackwell out of the game, at least temporarily, has been listed as questionable with a potential shoulder injury, but hopefully she may make an appearance, but hasn't as of yet. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Richardson handoff up the middle is stuffed. Good defense there on that occasion from Luke Swift, and just make sure that there's not much room off. In fact, it was Kappa Jones there on the tackle. Both those linebackers for Queen City have been strong tonight. And 3rd and 1 upcoming here for the Lycans. They converted well on the last drive. Can they do it again here? Jack, toss play outside. Logan got room to move. Beats one. Logan Jack's got to get through Haynes. And Rezai makes the play. Tackles him out of bounds, but a great run from Logan Jack. He's starting to heat up.
A great job indeed. As we've said, Logan Jack coming to play in this second half. And again, they're featuring him more, and you see what he can do. Look at this. Whoop, that little move right there. Good job of avoiding the defender. And really, it was down to Justin Rezai to be the last man to bring him down. If he was not able to, he was going to be going all the way to the house for 6. And now you see the stats starting to heat up, and that's been a key element in the turnaround for the Lycans this second half.
LA on the move. They flip the field with that 17-yard run from Logan Jack. Richardson drops back. Pressure in his face unleashed, and Pryor couldn't quite hang on to that one. Good tip away.
Yeah, indeed. A good defensive effort there by Flowers. And you know, we've seen so much of this in this game by both quarterbacks. Not the best played game by any stretch of the imagination, but they have been able to come through on big plays and when it has really mattered. And you know, this is an important drive here. We'll see if Richardson can come up with something big.
Richardson, great grab. Chris Lee gets a first down. Ted Haynes had to get across and make sure that didn't get any further. In fact, no, check that. He finally got one. Jack Flash has had possibly some of the worst reception I've seen in some time. That's the best look he's had. And Alex Marshall did well to bring down a much bigger body. But he needed that. He deserved it.
Yeah. You know, and a good job of Richardson to thread the needle. There was 2 defenders in the area, but just kind of slid that one in right there. And a good job, as you said, of getting a reception finally for Flash.
Handoff up the middle. Finds Jack, and that picks up 6, and Los Angeles are now firmly in their motion. It's what we saw from the opening stages of the game where they had that early successful drive. They seemingly sort of stepped away from that for a while, but it's back to what looked good early. Single back off, or rather Joker's off to the left. Going to move Flash in motion. Handoff, middle, Brandon Stall. That's going to get a couple, if that. And it'll mean 3rd down is a relatively short one.
Big 3rd down here. Of course, you know, the Lycans would love to get a touchdown. Possibly, you know, I'm thinking ahead here, but they do get the touchdown and an extra point. It's an 8-point game.
Jokers. Again, I form. Richardson delayed handoff was a good one, and Jack just got there. Mowed over one of the Queen City linebackers to get there and picks up a first down.
You know what you can tell about Logan Jack? I've mentioned this a couple of plays. It's the emotion he gets when he comes up after a big play, and it's infectious, and you start to feel it in the huddle of this offense. You can just tell, can't you? Can you? Is it just me, or do you notice that as well, Jacob?
I think you're absolutely right. We've definitely seen quite a bit of that over the last few minutes, especially. Richardson. Toss play outside. Brennan Stall trying to get room. Couldn't quite get past Alex Marshall, who's had a big few minutes.
Indeed. You know, it has. It's been it's almost like a tale of two different teams, the way that the offense has operated, especially this second half. And you know something else they're doing here quietly? They're running quite a bit of clock time down. We're already down to 6:25 left in the game. And, you know, Queen City right now needing a big stop indeed.
Single back is Jack off to the left. Richardson, 3 wide. Drops back, good protection. Great protection, in fact. No, it's picked. Luke Swift has got one. Richardson's thrown a third. That is a disaster.
Yeah, and the interception bug gets Sully Richardson again. Luke Swift. And you could tell he was just reading the quarterback's eyes like a hawk, you know, praying there in the end zone, just kind of waiting. He knew, he sensed that Richardson was going to take a shot towards the end zone. And that's not the first time today that we have seen that happen. It's disheartening. It's deflating. All of the momentum and the motivation that we were starting to see out of this offense, it's gone in one play like that. Queen City with a great opportunity now to respond and take a lead, put some points up.
Price thrown out the backfield, and Zero was pursued by Rochelle Colston, who's done everything she can tonight to try and make up for the lack of the inside linebacker in Tassie Blackwell. She's seemingly been all over the field. That time makes a tackle, prevents Jet Zero from exploding downfield.
And, you know, defensive standpoint, they know they've got to rise up and make big stops right now. Keep this lock and lead at 1.
Pro here for Price. Rolls around. Plenty of pressure from the Lycans defenders. He found Joseph Baudet after all that. And it's going to be marked as a 9-yard pickup.
And, you know, he totally went against the grain there, and that's kind of the big no-no rule. You never want the quarterback to really throw across their body as they did across the other side of the field. Price was able to do that, though, effectively. Going to set up a much more manageable third down.
Handoff up the middle. Zero picks up a first down.
Yeah, he came through there.
That formation has been really good for them tonight, Cameron.
It has. And like I was, you know, when they're out of that formation, they seem to really come out with a head of steam, if you will. And you could see him just attack the holes right there, leaping over a defender who was going for him and getting the first down.
Handoff up the middle. McDowell can't get anywhere. Shut down there by Ace Blackwell, and being Queen City has to go again here. The clock is starting to wind down. Worth noting, LA do have the lead. Is the only thing worth noting here, despite the offensive struggles they've had tonight. 4 wide, bunch to the left. Baudet. Motion, and Zero will get the toss. Zero broke one. Zero's got to get past Yosef, but Yosef sent him 6 yards under, and it'll be a first down irrespective for Jet Zero.
Well, you felt the frustration in the tackle there by Ryan Yosef because they just couldn't get Zero in the backfield. And then what it did right there, extending the drive. And the thing is, there is 4 minutes left in this fourth quarter. That plays right into Queen City's hands because they like methodical, long drives if they can get them, because that's what works well for them. You know, they're not a real flashy offense. They chip away at things, and they can use a lot of this time to their advantage.
Or set again for the Corsairs. McDowell plows forward and picks up a first down. Great run, William McDowell. And just like that, we're going to get a final from Phoenix, Arizona. Cameron Irvine, what happened?
Thank you, Jacob. 4th down and 8 for Arizona. Fresh off their Monday night devastation, and that pass is jarred loose, incomplete. Tulsa, by the end of this game, was down 2 defensive starters. They still pull off the upset on the road to drop the Scorpions to 4-5, 34-27, your final.
Wow, Tulsa gets a much-needed win. Huge one there, and 0 is whacked after a 4-yard pickup. TD Jack says no more of this and ensures that it's only 4.
You know, that game over there that we were talking about, Tulsa and Arizona, you know, that we've got a whole slew of 4-loss teams and a couple, you know, we're looking at Queen City right here at 3-5, hoping to go to 4-5 if they can win. Big implications of the playoff race as well starting to brew.
Pretty much every game at this point has playoff implications, at least for the next couple of weeks. 0, that carry, and those stats look a lot healthier. The opening quarter was a second quarter rather. When we looked at them towards half-time, it was a little bit dire. But the second half has been much more productive from both sides. Here we go. Price drops back.
Oh my goodness.
Picked off. LA needed that. And TD Jack's going to go back the other way. He's got to get through Price and spun around. And she's going to get it back down to the 30 on the opposite side of the field. Huge play for the Lycans defense. And that might just be enough to set their offensive up for another scoring drive.
It was a risky throw to make. Obviously, we know the outcome, but the fact is he was going for James Matthew Jr. He's looked towards his direction the entire day. And I got to tell you, you know, it felt like it was a little bit forced. Maybe not so much even needed, that type of play right there. And Jack does a beautiful job of pouncing on the opportunity. Puts Los Angeles now back in the driver's seat with 2:20 to go. It won't take them much. And, oh, yeah, by the way, pretty much almost in field goal position.
It's her 4th interception on the season and sets LA up with beautiful field position here. Jalen Wells gets the carry from the fullback position. That's his 2nd of the night, and that's met strong by Kappa Jones.
Not to give away any, you know, if LA wins this game, I know we got a lot to talk about here, but, you know, if they do win, gosh, Jack has to be a nominee for player of the game because that could be the play that gives them their first win. We'll see.
I think so, and not just the interception. TD Jack has had some quality moments in pass coverage all night. The 2024 SFL convention is headed to South Shore Harbor Resort in League City, Texas, just south of Houston, July 12th to July 14th, featuring live games, flag football, a golf tournament, tailgate, pool party, and more. For all convention details, visit simulationfl.net/convention to reserve your room and see the event schedule and much more. Handoff up the middle. Brandon Stall is jammed up at the line, and we'll start seeing some timeouts burnt by Queen City to try and get a hold.
And this is a very important play. 3rd down, if you can convert, you're going to obviously force Queen City to probably use a timeout if you stay in bounds. But most importantly, you know, you want to get a touchdown here if you can, because that's going to change the complexion of this game if you can do so. If you get them relegated to a field goal, different story.
Logan Jack runs it for short. They do not make any risks with the field position that they're in. It's a pretty much, it's comfortable range for Zashtel Black. And at the very least, with the fact that they already have a 1-point advantage, a successful field goal here kicks it out to a point where a field goal from Queen City can't tie it. Black swings it up, and it's good. So the Lycans lead it by 4. That interception from TD Jack yet to be seen as to whether or not it will be a game-winning play. Queen City have got about 90 seconds to score a game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, you know, that was obviously on the conservative side there. They didn't want to force an issue, turn the football over, so they keep it on the ground. Got some time off the clock, as you said, minute 48 to work with here for Queen City. But like you said, what that does with that field goal, Queen City has to score a touchdown, and that's not been easy for them by any stretch of the imagination tonight.
We saw a big finish earlier in the game, and now Bob Wood almost broke that one off. We saw a big finish in the early game of this block. We're about to have another one here. And Los Angeles, can the Lycans hang on to get their first win of the season and keep any kind of wildcard hopes alive? Or will Queen City score a game-winning touchdown to potentially put them back firmly into the wildcard race? We saw Arizona sit back at 4-5. If a win tonight for Queen City would put them on the same record as the Scorpions. That's unbelievable. It just goes to show how competitive the playoff race is in Season 22. 10 teams on 4 wins or close to 4 wins. Short throw from Price is caught for a gain of 8 by Joseph Bodette, and that will burn the final timeout from the Corsairs.
And that's the problem with that play right there. Yeah, it's positive yardage. That's a great knob. But then, you have to burn your final timeout. And now a team that is not very good at going on the quick side of things here is going to have to work no huddle and behind the 8 ball, but they can make it happen.
Price zips it. James Matthew Jr. Big grab. That flips the field. And now they can be conservative with the clock.
That was huge. And literally in one play, they were able to make up the yardage that they needed, as you said, to feel more comfortable with the play clock as it continues to run. Who do you look for? You look for your big man, James Matthew Jr. He's been quiet in certain areas of the game tonight, but they go back to the guy that they know their go-to when it matters.
Just a tick over a minute left in this game. They're at 45 out from the goal line.
Matthew in motion too.
Yeah, absolutely. Look for him. Price, it's going to go that direction, but it's caught by Adrian Ellis for a gain of 12 and a first down.
Yep, and the clock continuing to run here. We'll see what kind of urgency that we'll see from Queen City. Not a whole lot right now. That was a quick huddle there. They certainly decided to go a little more up-tempo there. Interesting formation here as well.
Pro set for Price. Zips it. Oh, Adrian Ellis plucked it out of thin air. Great grab by the outside man. And now we've got 30 seconds and ticking. Don't take too long here.
We mentioned Ellis. Don't go away from Ellis. Use him. Utilize him. He wasn't heard of early in this game. They're coming back to him now.
Price drops back. Zips it. Oh, LA nearly had a pick. Joseph, it was in his lap. And he fell away from it.
Yeah. Look, Joseph just about had the game-sealing interception there. Queen City will live to fight another down. Huge play right there to, again, give them signs of life. Still an opportunity to attack the end zone, 18 seconds. We'll see what they can come up with. This is going to be great.
Here we go. Price is going to motion a receiver from right to left. Single back. Free wide and the tight end in Matthew Jr. Cross route, caught Ellis. 5-yard pickup. They got to go no huddle. They got 10 seconds. They got to get this off. Do they spike or do they go for the jugular?
Maybe.
Spike goodness. It is.
And this is it. Oh my goodness. It's 4th and 5 and 8 seconds to go. I mean, there's not enough time really hardly to focus on the first down. Obviously, you got to go to the end zone here. You can't get 2 plays off in 8 seconds. That just about seems impossible. So this could be the game.
Price, prior to that moment, had 4 straight completions. He needs an end zone completion here. 12 out. Price drops back. Good protection. Short throw. Matthew Jr. dropped it. Game over. Los Angeles are getting their first win of the season.
And that is disheartening. It almost looked, we'll take a look at the replay. Of course, there was room to run. It still looked like he was going to be short. There was a defender in pursuit. A good job of Los Angeles reading the end zone there, covering the defenders that left Price having to go underneath to settle on trying to get the first down and maybe then some extra yardage if Matthew could make it happen. But he drops it. An uncharacteristic drop by your star wideout. That is going to hurt, and it will hurt them knowing the playoff race is so crucial right now.
What a dramatic finish to this game as Sully Richardson takes the knee, and that will see us out. Game, set, bingo. Los Angeles picks up their first win of season 22. It comes 8 weeks after the start of the campaign, and that keeps them just close enough to the playoff race. And Cameron Duty, lots to unpack from that one. It was a defensive contest, but LA did just enough, and you could draw it back to that pick from TD Jack that returned it all the way outfield, that gave them short field position for Zashtel Black to knock over a field goal, and that sealed it.
That's exactly right, and I want to give that TD Jack. I'm going to call him the player of the game because of that, because of how important it was. Honestly, a game ball should go to this entire Los Angeles defense. Yes, their offense did just enough, but how sweet it is. You needed your defense, a defense that is good, that is stout, that has played, lights out at times for you. Just weren't able to really seal the deal. The offense and defense wasn't able to come together. Tonight, they did just enough to beat a tough Queen City team, but it is this defense that made all the difference. And I just got to say, congratulations to the Lycans. It's hard to struggle, lose, 8 straight, but they get off the schneid tonight. They get the victory, and that's going to be a celebration like none other in LA this evening.
Congratulations to Rochelle Colston, Sully Richardson, and the rest of the Lycans organization. Boy, have they worked for that. For Cameron Duty, myself, Jacob Clear, Cameron Irvine, and of course Mike Daggs and Gerald Smith in the Stats Truck, we say so long, and we'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 as we kick off with a playoff rematch from season 21 in Charleston at Fort Worth.